People, here we go. Here is the triple whale demo to end all demos. All right. So starting out, you're going to have your summary page. These are our most used features. So I'll go through our most used features here. This is our summary page. Our second most used feature is going to be our attribution. If you have the pixel, that'll be a separate video. The next most used feature is going to be your creative dashboard. Lastly, you're going to have your customer insights. Those are where most people live. So starting out, we'll start with the summary page. So to think about, we think about metrics in two ways. We think of lean in metrics and lean out metrics. These are going to be very much so lean in metrics. So this actual screen here is totally customizable to however you prefer your configuration. That configuration is made up of sections. Those sections can be named whatever they want. Those sections can then have tiles. You would select your tiles here. These metrics are going to be representative of those tiles. Once you do that, you would submit that. What I'm going to do is take you through my configuration and then let you kind of decide how you want to set it up, and you can just see where you land there. So first things first, we have something called 3 ROAS to rule them all. This is going to be 3 different heuristics on the effectiveness, the efficiency, and profitability of your paid media. So these are going to be channel agnostic heuristics that have had the attribution abstracted away. So the first one here is going to be your MER or ecosystem ROAS. This is going to be your total sales over total ad spend. And so this is going to be really the North Star metric here. It's a fantastic metric. You can pace from it. What do I mean by pace from it? Some people have, they don't have hard caps on budgets, and so they just have efficiency bands that you need to stay within to keep spending. So for example, on this account, if you said, I want to make $100,000 this month, and you can only spend $10,000 to do that. So that way, 100,000 divided by 10,000 is 10, fantastic. So what you're going to do here is understand that anything under 10, you're overspent. And so in this case, we need to either pull back spend or launch new ads to regain more effectiveness here. Now, if this was over 10, what you would do is just scale to the moon because you are underspent and you really want to keep jamming and get this as close to 10 as possible with as much scale as possible, because you'll be hitting your efficiency targets as well as being able to scale that actual, client. Now, the next thing you care about is if you only look at this metric, you're going to get caught top line watching or revenue watching. And what happens is people are going to have a LTV ceiling. Your customers are going to have a max amount of revenue you're going to be able to extract from them. And so you constantly need to be filling that pool up with new blood, if you will. And so that's where the next metric comes in. So this is going to be our efficiency heuristic for our paid media ecosystem. This is going to be new customer ROAS. So new customer ROAS is just new customer revenue divided by total ad spend. And so what you're going to have here is Shopify bifurcates their customers into new and returning. We're just taking the new customer revenue, dividing it by the total ad spend. This is going to be the canary in the coal mine. This is going to show you, are you sowing the seeds in the field to reap this later? So really, really important metric. And then lastly, we care about profits. So efficiency is here, effectiveness is here, and then profits. This is just going to be your gross profit divided by total ad spend. Again, not every dollar is created equal. Paid media is expensive. You need to put paid media behind high margin best-selling products, not low margin best-selling products. And then finally, to read this, you'd have for every dollar in ad spend, you're driving $9.98 in revenue. For every dollar in ad spend, you're driving $3.37 in new customer revenue. And then for every dollar in ad spend, you're driving $5.66 in gross profit. Fantastic. And then lastly, I want to see my total ad spend across all channels. And then finally, we have another cut of MER here. So we're going to give you total ad spend over total revenues or total sales. So the way you would read this is 10% of revenues are spent on paid media. Okay, fantastic. So that's going to be the 3 ROAS to rule them all section. Again, these are just the sections that I prefer. You can set it up however you want, whatever your preference is. So the next thing we have is our Shopify metrics. And so you're going to have your sales, your orders, your refunds, your AOV, your net sales, which is just sales, sans refunds, and then return rate. So really important, pretty standard stuff here. Next thing I care about is my customer mix. So you're going to have your new customer CPA, your blended CPA, your new customer split, whether it's absolutes down here or percentage, we'll show you that. And then the other thing is you'll see this little number with percent next to it and then an arrow up or down. This is going to be the percent change. And so depending on if you choose last, so if you choose last 7, last 30, last 90, last 365, that percent delta or that percent change is going to be comped against the previous period. Now, if you use this week, this month, this quarter, this year, that's going to be comped against the week over week, month over month, quarter over quarter, year over year. So what does that mean? If I do this month, what it's going to be is this percent change is comped against January 1st versus January 15th, that period versus this current period. Whereas if I do the last 30 days, it's going to take these 30 days and then comp it against the previous 30 days. So just a little nuance there. The next thing, obviously, if you are operating with a very intimate relationship at the net profit level with your clients, you do have that. You would just need to make sure that all of your custom spends are in. You can import your shipping. We have ShipStation that will automatically pull everything in. And then your custom spends as well. So whether you're spending on paid media or not paid media, any other custom spends. So if you have an agency or what have you, you would need to add those fees in there to make sure that the net profit calculates correctly. The next thing we're going to move to is email. Email is really, really important. Huge boon to the marketing ecosystem. Klaviyo is a fantastic platform. We love Klaviyo, but the problem is there's challenges sometimes just getting out basic data. And so what we're going to show you here is the percent contribution of email sales, the percent revenue, and then that's going to be split across campaigns and flows. And then you have your campaigns as well as flows in terms of the absolute, as well as subscriber growth, new subscribers, unsubscribed. Net new is obviously just new subscribed minus unsubscribed. Why this is really cool is you can see to make sure that you are generating the amount of requisite email revenue that you want, but you can also see, am I sending enough campaigns? Are my campaigns generating enough revenue? And then am I sending too many campaigns where my subscriber list growth is starting to degrade and I'm losing subscribers? So really easy way. And then obviously, are my flows efficient and should they be making me more money? So really awesome stuff here, really glanceable. Definitely the path and really easy to set up, as I said. Next thing you're talking about is website traffic and conversion rate. Super easy peasy, really important stuff. And then lastly, you have your paid media performance as well as your channel metrics for Facebook as well as Google Ads. So really, really important stuff. And then lastly, there's this pin section. So again, I know people that actually just use the pin section and that's how they run their dashboard. Again, it's totally fine. You can do whatever you want. It's your dashboard. You set it up in the most efficacious way for you. Again, this is just my preference. But what you can do here is actually pin metrics. So when you pin metrics, they're going to show up in this pin section. And what happens is, way I use the pin metrics section is actually for triage reporting. So for whatever reason, you're out and about and then the client emails you and says, hey, can you send me the numbers? All you can do is hit those pin the metrics that you want to show them, and then you'll click this email link, this URL, and you'll be able to send it to whoever, and they don't need any type of login, any type of triple web authentication, nothing. It's just going to be a naked URL that you're going to be able to get them the data they need for the time the time range that you've selected. So really easy peasy way to send reporting if you need to in a pinch. We also obviously have proper reporting over here where you can send out emails at whatever cadence you want, as well as send out or pump it to a Slack channel. So lots of really, really amazing stuff going on there. Okay, cool. So this is, again, going to be the summary page. This is our most used feature. And it's also going to have a lot of those lean-in metrics where you're just going to really have check this multiple times a day. It's fantastic. Again, it's all available on your iOS and Android app. And then you obviously can customize it to their heart's delight. We also have custom metrics as well. So some people actually like to use the numerator as net profit on their POAS. Some people like to look at net profit per order. You can build all that with our custom metric builder by just creating a custom metric. Okay, great. Now, the next thing we're going to look at is our creative dashboard. So creative is a huge lever in performance for paid media. But sometimes it's hard to analyze what's working and what's not working. Well, not anymore. We've made that super, super easy peasy for you. And so everything that Facebook, let's actually take a longer look back. Let's do 365. Everything in Facebook, when you're launching an ad, the actual asset has a unique identifier. So whether that be an image or a video. And so all we're doing, all we're doing here is aggregating everything on that actual asset and unique ID. And so you're going to be able to see the number of ads it's in, the ROAS, all the usual suspects here, as well as if you have the triple pixel plan, you're going to be able to see that data here. Now, I actually think spend is a better proxy for success than ROAS. So I'm going to search by spend, and then I'm going to be able to see all those ads. What's also really, really cool here is you can add segments. So I actually am familiar with this account. I know all the prospecting campaigns are prefixed with PR. So you can actually create a segment, and now I can see all my top prospecting campaigns for the year, or prospecting assets and images and videos for the year. Fantastic. Now, if I want to do the same thing for retargeting, same thing. Fantastic. Now, I actually do care about Facebook ROAS, but I use it more for truffle hunting. However, the problem is I don't care about something that's spent $38 that just does nothing for me. It's not statistically significant. So what do? I'm going to add a spend threshold here. And so you're going to spend over $1,000 for the ad to be included in this segment. And now I can see all the top ads and find angles that I can lean more into. The last thing we have here is if I'm doing any video analysis, I like to look at 3-second views over impressions. This is colloquially known as the thumb stop ratio. And so you can see your thumb stop ratio here and what ads are actually causing pattern interrupt, which can be really helpful again when analyzing videos. Now, we're also going to give you the top copy. We're also going to give you the top images, and then image ads, and then we're also going to give you the top video ads. And again, you can do the same song and dance, sort by spend, sort by whatever you want. You can add any kind of segment, which is great. Another really cool thing here you can do is if you have a creative agency. So I had a client that spent quite a bit on a creative agency every month. And so what we would do is actually, it was called HOTS, great agency out here in Austin. And we would just prefix every ad that was created by this agency called HOTS. And that way we could just run a really quick creative analysis on if it's worthwhile keeping these people, because they were spending a lot of money and there was an in-house team and an out-house team. And so it's a really easy way to keep a tab on your creative agency ROI and being able to see that. Another really cool thing about Triple Whale is we do not charge by the seat, we charge by the store. So that means that you can add your creatives on here and they can actually see how their ads are doing without pestering you or annoying you. It's another really awesome part about this screen is that there's basically zero learning curve and you don't need a lot of requisite knowledge to understand or get value from this screen. So really, really awesome. It's our second most used feature behind the summary. And then if you do have the pixel, the attribution page. So the creative dashboard, really, really powerful. There's also some incredible templates that we have that are creative dashboard templates that you can do. A lot of agencies find it really helpful to use this either as a loss leader on, okay, we'll do an audit for you for free, and then possibly you can come on for us or come on as a client for us. And then you can also build into your current clients audits that you can do, every month or quarter to ensure that their creatives are trending in the right direction. So really, really powerful screen, one of my favorites, and really, really easy to use. Okay, cool. Let's get into some customer insights. Fantastic. So what you're going to see here is the mean, median, and mode. So we give you 3 cuts of AOV. The first is going to be your proper AOV. So this is just going to be total conversion value over total conversions. Really, really awesome metric. But again, in the singularity and only looking at one lens, it can be a challenge to use an average to represent a whole data set. So we give you 2 other cuts of data. We're going to give you the median, which is 50% is higher and 50% of purchase values are higher and 50% of purchase values are lower. And then we're going to give you the mode, which is going to be the most frequent value in that data set. Why is the mode so important? The mode's so important because this is going to be more representative of what you're going to get for a prospecting conversion. And so what do I mean by that? Well, if you put all your purchase values into a bucket and you reach down and grab that bucket, probabilistically speaking, it's going to be a mode value or something close to that. And so this is going to give you a really good understanding of what you're probably going to get for a quote unquote AOV on a prospecting campaign. Now, this is all the way down to the cent. If you want to make that distribution a little larger, you can do that by this little slider here. So let's say I want to look at $10 buckets. So let's ratchet this down to 10. And now you can see $106 to $126 is really the meat of my conversions. And so I can start to modulate my acquisition strategy around those values. Really, really cool stuff. And again, you have a 3-month look back, 6-month, 12-month, fantastic. Now, the next thing you're going to want to look at is your bundling. And again, bundling is going to be those kind of more lean back metrics where these aren't going to change that much. Again, this is also usually more verification than it is informative, but it also works really well for running it for audits on prospective clients to make sure that they have the upsells and bundles in place that are going to drive the performance for that business. Now, we do have some route protection package over here that is actually shipping insurance. So I actually just want to nuke that because I don't want it perverting my analysis and clouding things up. And then you can just see what goes well with what. Again, a really, really awesome way to make sure that you have the proper upsells and bundles on your site to drive, again, that performance that you want for the business. Really, really awesome stuff here. The next thing is product journeys. Really, really important. Love me some product journeys. So this is called a Sankey diagram. So let's crank this up to 5. I'm actually going to exclude my products because I don't want any route protection packages. Fantastic. I'm going to apply that. All right, so now what are we looking at? We're seeing the first purchase here, we're seeing the second purchase here, and we're seeing the third purchase here. What do we care about? We care about the golden path, and then we care about the golden product path. That's just a fancy way. They're basically the most prominent path, and then the golden product path is a first purchase, a third purchase. Again, that's just a fancy way for look at the fat lines. So what are you going to saying? Just look at the fat lines. So the way to read this is anybody that purchases Elemental Heal a first time, 39% of those people purchase it a second time. And then 52% of these 39% purchase it a third time. So that's really awesome. That's exactly what you want to see. That, what is that, 13% growth in subsequent cohorts. Really awesome product. Like I said, I'm fairly familiar with this account, and we crushed this product. A really, really strong product. Now, the golden path would be here. 39 is bigger than 32. That's fantastic. And then the golden product path would be 32 to 52. So right here. So this is going to be your golden product path. Again, when the golden path and the golden product path are the same, it's a super, super good sign. And I would definitely recommend testing paid media behind that. Remember, paid media is expensive, and so you want to use it on high margin, best-selling products, not low margin, best-selling products. But furthermore, you want to make sure that that first purchase is a great experience, because what can happen is, as a media buyer, you're bringing in really high LTV or possibly high LTV acquisitions, but they're walking through the wrong door. What do I mean by the wrong door? So Elemental Heal would be the right door. Now, something like Gut Rebuild Nutrients would be the wrong door, where 50% of people are going to buy something else on the second purchase. Definitely not the path. And then this is actually going to be the golden path right here. And then the golden product path would be up here. So 11%, and then 24%. So again, that's great. You have 13% growth in the subsequent cohorts, but the problem is this isn't going to be a great product to put a bunch of paid media behind. It's not driving a lot of loyalty, and it's not a great experience by the way you can tell just the thickness of the lines. People are not enjoying buying this product a second or third time. Another way to think about it is the first purchase is dating, the second purchase is engagement, and the third purchase is marriage. You want people to marry as many of your products as possible. Those are the ones you want to put paid media behind. And so again, you can just see how different the anatomy is for these Elemental Heal lines versus the intestinal support, gut rebuild, MCT kind of stuff. So yeah, really, really important. And again, you want to make sure that those people are walking through the right doors to make sure that you're generating as much value from your paid acquisition as possible, because again, paid media is expensive. So a really, really cool analysis that you can run. Again, we have some templates as well for this, which is pretty slick. But yeah, this is ultimately going to be all about how your customers are flowing through your products, and then essentially establishing what their preference set is. So very, very important stuff here. All right, cool. The next thing we're going to go to is our sales cycle. So time between orders. Now, the time between orders is going to show you the first time between the first and second and third, and third and fourth. Why is this important? Well, this is important because you don't want to sell to people that aren't ready to buy yet. And so this is going to help inform your retargeting periods and your email cadences. However, at the store level, it's not as exciting. So you can easily drill down to a product level and then understand how to and when to drip on those people or retarget those people to buy subsequent purchases. Pretty cool stuff here. Really hard to do on your own. Really easy to do in Triple Whale. All right, moving on, we're going to go to a 60-day, 90-day LTV. Now, this is going to be the lifeblood of a DTC commerce business. Basically, when you don't have contractual businesses, or said another way, when you're running a non-contractual business, aka a DTC store, what's going to happen is it's really hard to understand the lifetime of a customer. So it's much easier to say, okay, how much am I going to get out of them on the first purchase? That's what this is showing on average. How much am I going to get out of them in 2 months, and how much am I going to get out of them in 3 months? Really, really important metrics. And also it's really cool as an agency or somebody running paid media for them. What you can see here is, so in the last 3 months, so 3 months is only 90 days. So you're only going to have one cohort of each because there's only 90 days, 60 days, 2 cohorts will be 120 days. 2 cohorts of 90 days will be 180 days. So you're only going to have one cohort here. But what's cool is the way to read this. The first purchase is going to be around $105.69 on average per person or per customer, excuse me. And then you're going to get about $175 in 60 days on average, and you're going to get $195 in 90 days. That's all super good and well, but what's really important is, again, this percent delta. And so what you're going to see here, the way to read this is you're generating 65% more value from customers you've acquired in the last 3 months than the previous period. And I should say that is not necessarily quote unquote acquisition, because this is going to be new and returning customers. So I should be more precise in my language. You are generating 65% more in 60 days from people in the marketing ecosystem versus the last 3 months. And then same thing, 60 days is going to be encompassed that 90 day. So it's still going to look fantastic. And in 90 days, you're generating 85% more value per customer compared to the last cohort or the previous cohort, which is the last 3 months. So really important stuff here. This is, again, like I said, the lifeblood of the DTC business. And this is a great talking point for you with your clients saying, hey, look, I'm bringing in people that are worth 65% more than the previous people, or 85% more than the previous 90 days. So we're activating new people, we're activating returning people, we're just generally making more money from the people in our marketing ecosystem. Now, these are sensational numbers. 85% is bananas, 65% is bananas. Really, really good numbers, video game numbers. However, if your numbers aren't up here and say you're in the single digits or you're in the teens, what you can do is take that to your client and say, hey, we need to switch up the strategy and tactics because what we're doing right now is not driving performance for the business. They're going to be blown away that you even know what 60-day, 90-day LTVs are, and they're going to be more excited that you're tracking them and know that you need to make a pivot because it's not generating the returns that they want. All right. Now, lastly, we're going to jump into cohorts. Now, cohorting is really, really high level, so I'm going to try and make it less high level. So the way I think of cohorting is you join a team, you can never leave that team, and you can only score for that team. In this case, that team is going to be a month. So we're going to give you different cuts here. So first off, you're going to have your new CPA. So your new customer CPA is right here. So NCPA is right there. Your returning customer purchase rate is right here. And then your first order is going to be right here. And then month 1. So month 0 is actually month 1. Month 2, but yeah. And then what I like to do here is actually roll up. So there's different cuts of data. So you're going to see total sales. You're going to see customers. So we added 343 customers in February last year. You're going to see that return rate. This is that return customer rate. And then you're going to see LTV. Personally, I like to roll up LTV. And then you're going to I like to look at 6-month LTV. So that's going to be month 5. And then you're going to have this account average down here. And so what I like to use this for is I like to use this to inform my acquisition intensity, aka how much should I spend and at what level. Now, if I was still running this account at $297 in February, I would be scaling to the moon. This is $20 higher than the account average. People were cheaper in February, and they're actually, buying way more. So I would really, really scale up this account in February. In March, I would pull back a little bit, kind of normalize it. In April, I would go really, really efficient and make sure I didn't lose my shirt and just got acquisitions where I could get them, but not really scale heavily. In May, I would kind of start bringing it up a little bit. And then in June, cocaine and champagne, let's scale to the moon. July, same thing. We're $10 above the account average. People are pretty cheap, and they repurchase a decent amount. Now, why do I like 6-month LTV? Because you're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You're going to have 8 cohorts that mature here, which is a really big deal. It's a nice data set. Whereas if you look at, say, a 13th month LTV, you're going to have 1 cohort. If you look at a 12-month LTV, you're going to have 2 cohorts, so on and so forth. And that's just not a lot of data there, and not a lot of reference points to start to make decisions from. So that's why I kind of prefer the 6-month LTV right here. The other thing we have is the NC payback period, which is so new customer CPA, which is really cool. you see this little green line. So what happens is the first order is actually bigger than the acquisition cost. So the break even is going to happen on the first order. However, if this first order was less than the NCPA, what you're going to see here is the green bar highlight what cohort you're actually going to break even on, which is really, really slick. Another cool thing you have here is you can filter by discount codes, if they bought a certain product, if it's traffic from Facebook, Google, so on and so forth. So you can make all these cool little segments based off of either product SKU, discount, referring site, campaign, order tag, or customer tag. Really, really slick stuff here. Again, this is going to be the platinum analysis for customer acquisition. The next thing you have is you can actually ratchet down the cohorting to days or weeks, and that's going to allow you, for example, if you ran a certain promotion during a certain week or on a certain day, you can then bucket those people or cohort them, if you will, into cohorts, obviously, and then you can see how they manifest in terms of LTV. So tons of stuff to do on this screen, really, really high level. And again, it's going to be the platinum standard of basically how you're going to acquire customers, how much they're worth. Again, this is only going to be new customers. So these are all new customers here, cohorted by month, whereas the LTV 60-day, 90-day is just going to be representative of the whole marketing ecosystem of returning and new customers. But really, really important screen. And again, once you understand cohorts and understand cohorting, you really are going to enter the realm of those elite media buyers, because this is, like I said, the platinum standard for analysis in terms of new customer acquisition. All right, so we looked at the creative dashboard. We looked at the customer insights. There's a few other cool things here. We have a forecasting calculator. Forecasting calculator is going to give you top line, bottom line. So what happens if you change conversion rate to 2%, for example? A lot, 81% and 107% on the net profit. So top line, bottom line, really cool stuff. We don't bring any ad spend or anything in here right now. This is more so just the basics of the business, not taking into account paid media. We have some reporting, as we talked about. We have some goals here, which are pretty cool. So you can set goals and then it'll tell you the average you need to hit. Another cool way I've seen people use this is pacing. So if you do have hard targets and you aren't allowed to spend to the moon, what you can do is have a target there. So say you can only spend $50,000 no matter what for the month. You can add that, and then you can see that you're behind $41,000 and you need to average $3,400 a day to hit your daily pace goal for your Facebook ad. So really cool stuff there. We have some trending data that's pretty slick. And then all of your stuff here. So you have your custom spends, your gateway costs, you'll set and forget it. Shipping is ShipStation, or you can import your shipping from your 3PL. Cost of goods is all going to be imported from Shopify. And then your orders, customers, and products. And then lastly, you have all of your channels that you want to drill down into, and then integrations and apps. So this is where all of your integrations will live. We have tons: Facebook, Google Analytics, Google Ads, Gorgias, Klaviyo, Attentive, Snapchat, TikTok, Slack for reporting, Pins, ShipStation, and then Inquire Labs, which is a fantastic post-purchase survey app. What else do we got for you? Okay, and then lastly, we'll go into our attribution tool. So we have our attribution tool, which is going to show you everything you need to know. So you can change any of these columns. So let's nuke Google ROAS. Let's add NC ROAS. So you have all these columns that you can add. I actually want to see my new customer CPI. Why not? There we go. All right, cool. And then you can obviously see that here. So we can move that around. But ultimately, what's really cool is you're going to have this ROAS. So this is going to be triple whale ROAS. Fantastic. Let's look at the last 30 days, for example. You can see your gross profit. And then we're also going to give you some different attribution models to compare. So this is going to be triple whale attribution plus view throughs. This is going to be your first click. This is going to be your last click. Fractional, and then triple attribution for view throughs. You can also change that up here. So you have your triple attribution for view throughs, your triple attribution. Again, this is going to be like last platform click. So you're just going to remove organic and email. And so any touch points that were organic or email are then removed from the equation. And then the paid channel, the last paid channel to generate that conversion is going to get all the credit. Fractional attribution is just going to spread that credit across, also known as linear. And then first click is going to give all the credit to the first touch point. Last click is going to give all the credit to the last touch point. And then lastly, you're going to have this sweet little overlap graph down here, which is pretty cool to see the overlap between your channels. And then you're also going to have a really cool little live orders dashboard as well. Another thing we also have here is going to give you LTV, basically expanded attribution windows, and you can see 1 day, 7 day, 30 day, 60 day clicks, how much money you're actually making across those expanded attribution windows. So really powerful stuff. Again, this is going to be the North Star for your buying, where you can see all of your channels here: Facebook, Google, TikTok, Snapchat, Pinterest, and understand where you should deploy paid media to and where you should pull back. Really, really incredible. Another awesome thing here, if you drill down into the ROAS, you're going to be able to see somebody's order, and then you're going to be able to see that journey as well, which is super, super powerful. Again, you're not going to use that a lot in terms of analysis, but it's helpful for credibility indicating, or credibility building, if you will, because we're just not making up stuff. We're showing you the actual orders that we're attributing to the actual ads. The other really awesome thing we have is aggregated customer journeys, and these are really, really slick. So what you're going to see here is different touch points across the customer journey, and you can choose whatever touch point you want to start with, and then you can just follow that touch point throughout that customer journey to ensure that they're making more money and you're making more money. Other cool thing, you can start stuff here again. So here's your Klaviyo starting point, and you can drill down into any graphic or anything here. What's also fascinating is you're going to see these metrics down here. So conversion value, AOV, and conversion rate. As you get down into the funnel, it's fascinating how in terms of stage 5, a lot of people spend a lot of money, but in stage 6, that AOV really drops. And so you have this kind of escalating AOV, and then it drops on stage 6. So look at what your business is producing and understanding what that is. And then you'll be able to really get a good sense in terms of what you should scale and what you should sunset/kill. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. The Google Pixel, everything is included. So we have 2 products. Everything is included in Triple Whale. And then if you do have the economics to afford Triple Whale plus Pixel, you'll get access to this attribution page. You'll get access to this customer journeys. And then you will also have Triple Pixel data, sprinkled throughout the app. So it's a really, really powerful feature if you do have the economics to support attribution. And yeah, we've been really happy with it, and people have been getting a ton of value out of it, anywhere from $5 million a year to $50 million to $100 million. And so, and again, one thing of note, you're not going to just instantly see a boost in triple ROAS, in ROAS with Triple Pixel, but what you are going to see is a much clearer participation in the purchase, which is really, really important. So I hope you enjoyed this demo. I know it's kind of long, but I wanted to go through all of the features in the app. Again, you have your summary feature. This is all available on your iOS or Android device. And I really appreciate you taking the time for watching this absolutely incredible but really long demo. And if you have any questions, just reach out to us, and we look forward to you starting a Triple Whale. All right. Thanks a lot. We'll see you on the flip.